Halloween is the sequel to Halloween, which disregards every other Halloween in the MCU, the Myers Cinematic Universe. But instead of using a pumpkin for the movie poster, they used a picture of Michael Myers that looks like he just dropped the hottest mixtape of the year. Anyway, the movie starts out with two journalists going to visit Michael Myers in a mental institution. He doesn't talk, so they pull out his old Captain Kirk mask and they're like, hey, do you remember this? He's your idol. But he still doesn't talk, so they decide to just start screaming at him because clearly that's how you get through to a deranged serial killer. The reporters go find Laurie Strode, the Activia yogurt lady from the original movie, and ask her if she believes in Michael Myers, which is really a stupid question. But then they immediately top their stupidest question by asking if she'll go meet with him after he tried to, murder her when she was in high school. We meet Laurie's granddaughter and she says to Laurie, hey, why can't you just get over all your friends being brutally murdered and you also being almost murdered, you big baby? And Laurie leaves to go practice her aim because she's insulted. After an awkward dinner with Granny, some guy and his son come across a crashed bus which was carrying prisoners. The dad gets out to look around and about 1 minute later the kid gets out to go find him. He walks into a bus where a doctor yells, don't shoot, and the kid immediately shoots him. He gets scared and tries to flee the crime scene, but Michael wants to bring law and order back into the world, so he kills the kid for committing murder. More police discover the crime scene and figure out that a bunch of dangerous mental patients, including the most dangerous one, escaped. But the sheriff just says, well, what are we supposed to do? Cancel Halloween? The two journalists stop at a gas station and the lady goes to take a poop. While she's pooping, Michael Myers walks in and is like, hey, you want to see some teeth? And he just drops them all into her stall. The guy journalist runs in and tries to save her, but he gets his head slammed at least 2 times. In the end of that scene, we find out that Michael was only there to get his famous Captain Kirk mask back. That's all he really wanted. With his mask back, he just wanders around a crowded town unnoticed and silently gets into people's houses with absolutely no effort and murders them. It's like everyone in this town just leaves all their doors open all the time or something. Anyway, all the youngsters are at some party and Allison's boyfriend is like, hey, this pudding shit or whatever it is missing the secret ingredient, and he takes her cell phone and throws it in. Back at the house Vicky is babysitting at, Dave shows up and shows her his tattoo and she's like, you're so getting dry fucked tonight, which I don't really know what that means. That kind of sounds uncomfortable, to be honest. Like, why is it gonna be dry? Anyway, before anything naughty can actually happen, the boy she's babysitting comes out and is like, hey, Michael Myers is literally upstairs. So Vicky goes upstairs to check the closet and guess who's in there waiting for her? She screams for help for like 10 minutes while Dave just stands in the kitchen doing nothing and then she dies. Laurie shows up and actually shoots Michael Myers, but then he's just gone and we have to pretend that that scene never even happened. Oscar tries to kiss Allison, but he gets turned down and she leaves him alone in some random backyard. Michael shows up and is somehow able to control the motion sensor lights without being near any switches. Instead of just leaving, Oscar hangs around until he gets stabbed and then he dies because he refuses to take off his cape to jump over a fence even though he has like 20 minutes to do it. Michael's doctor and a cop pick up Allison and the cop runs over Michael Myers with his car. They get out and the doctor kills the cop for absolutely no reason and then puts on the Captain Kirk mask. He drags Michael's body and sits it in the car right next to Allison and goes, could you believe they wanted to kill this guy? What a bunch of jerks. Michael wakes up in the car and he's pissed that he has no legroom, so he kicks the driver's seat in until the doctor dies. Allison's dad stands around like a fucking dildo and then decides to walk outside even though he knows the most dangerous serial killer is wandering around. Michael gives him the good old Agent 47 strangle while Laurie comes down and is like, I've been training for this for 40 years. So she stands right next to 2 windows and Michael does a kind of reverse knock on the door thing with her head. Then she runs upstairs and Michael is like, hey, remember when you threw me off a balcony in the original movie? Well, now I'm gonna throw you off a balcony, and he throws her out a freaking window. But she does the thing he did in the original movie, so when he looks out, she isn't there anymore. Michael breaks into the safety bunker where Karen and Allison are, but Karen shoots him in the face and Laurie comes back and she's like, I really hope you have a happy Halloween, Michael. And then she beats him up with a frying pan and throws him down the steps. So I guess the whole happy Halloween thing was all a trick to get him to think that she's good now. After that, they trap him in the safety bunker and burn the house down without confirming that he actually died. And that's the end of Halloween.